quarterback Trevon Diggs, making him a free agent when the new league year begins on March 11th. Of course, free agency will be here before we know it. Diggs played 2 games in Green Bay after being released by the Cowboys in late December. We'll see where he ends up next. Still to come, sign.
The pick 6, terrible play by CJ.
Back the other way, in for the touchdown. This one is off the hands and picked off.
If you're Houston, you win that game with 31 other quarterbacks.
It hurts, and I'm not used to it. I look back and I just feel like I let people down.
Now, if you're Houston, what do we do at the quarterback position in the future?
It was a tough outing for CJ Stroud as the Texans fell to the Pats 28-16. Here's D'Amico Ryans on what his message to his quarterback was after the game.
I talked with CJ today, and my message is the same. Right now, it's just about him just flushing this one. Right, it's going to be a lot of negative talk, a lot of attention on him. I just say can't listen to it all. Right? You just got to get back to work in the offseason of going back to the basics, the fundamentals of playing the quarterback position, playing it really well, understanding how we need to play the game to win the game, right? And he understands that already.
Now, remember, CJ Stroud missed 3 games in November due to a concussion. The Texans were 3-5 at the time of his injury. He played in Houston's final 8 games, including playoffs, and although the team went 7-1 in those games, his numbers were down from early in the season. That includes throwing 5 picks in his 2 playoff games after throwing 5 in his final 11 regular season games. Mina, we'll start with you here. What went wrong for CJ Stroud?
The way I would summarize it is he took a situation that was bad and he made it worse. Going back and watching Houston's offense, I think what struck me outside of Stroud's mistakes, which I will get to, which was how many mistakes other people made in this game. The pass protection was disastrous. They could not run the football. A lot of stacked boxes, and the pass catchers had some pretty bad drops as well. And of course, not only he didn't have Nico Collins, you lose Dalton Schultz in that game. But on top of that, CJ Stroud missed throws, and then of course the turnovers happened in some situations where, an example like the pick 6, that's a bad play, it's a busted play. You got to just take the L there and not try to make something happen, which is what also happened in the prior round. And I think moving forward for Houston, that has to be the priority. He's got to learn to let plays die. Because ultimately, I think that was probably the greatest undoing for him in this postseason, not just in this round, but in the wild card round as well.
Yeah, so like the 31 quarterbacks thing, it's probably a little extreme, but we went into the playoffs sitting there saying there was 2 quarterbacks that you just couldn't lose the game for your team. Sam Darnold and then CJ. Sam Darnold did very little on Saturday night. His team won by 30-plus points. And when you watch CJ in the game, you're sitting there saying all you have to do is not make mistakes. And the way that your defense is playing, you got a chance to win. This is a touchdown, but the fullback is actually a defensive tackle. He sends the tight end in motion. They score on this play, but it's wiped away.
Yeah.
But you're CJ Stroud. You should own the line of scrimmage and get that executed. This is on first down. This is the first interception. They're taking a double move shot. The safety bites. First down, I'm cool with you taking a shot to the end zone, but on first down, we just float this ball out to the sideline. That takes 3 points off the board. This is the keeper. The defensive end wins the rep. This is once again first down. Just throw the ball into the ground. But that gives New England 7 points. You just can't make that mistake. I'm not going to talk about the dropped interception. This is with 2 minutes to go in the half. You just had the 2-minute warning. It's first down. He's covered. You're too good of a player to try and make that throw, let alone make a bad throw. And I think that's what the puzzling thing was. We've had conversations about it. My opinion, I didn't see this version of CJ this year. Yeah. I don't think CJ was great this year, but CJ was good. And to watch what he was in the playoffs, in Pittsburgh, you're like, okay, one off. And then with New England, in the elements against that offense that is still young, with that defense dominating, that's what the puzzling thing was. And I do think that's going to, listen, this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. I do think this is still a Houston window, Mina, where you're like, hey, we got 2 years to win this thing. We have to have, I think they pick his 5th-year option up, yes. Yeah, we have to have a competent plan B.
It was interesting in talking to Texans players even after they had beaten the Steelers to advance. They all said that it was CJ's aggressiveness that they kind of rallied around even when he had made mistakes. And it kind of, to your point here, some of that really bit him. Like it was almost like they were encouraging that a lot. And then it didn't end up working out the way that they wanted it to. We'll keep an eye on what they do going forward. But let's talk about the Bears. They lost a thriller late against the Rams after an interception in overtime by Caleb Williams. He was asked about it yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
Small things like that show up in those moments that you may not have talked about, but being on the same page or talking about it, maybe week 1 or week 6, it shows up in week 18 or whatever week we're in. And so, it's something that to learn from for myself, a learning experience. It's something for us to learn from as an offense and as a team. And we'll go do that at some point.
I mean, he made some incredible throws, but in the same token, even just moments before. Dan, what went wrong, though, ultimately for the Bears?
Short yardage.
Yeah.
They lost the game because of short yardage, situational football. And credit the Rams defense. They made some really impressive plays in those moments, but they were good on early downs. But the reality was this is kind of what this team has been this year. I mean, in the first 3 quarters throughout the season, when it comes to the games, they're minus 4 points. And so they kept giving themselves we can get it done in the fourth quarter. We'll make the miracle plays in the fourth quarter. And obviously, Caleb makes that one miracle play. But it is a reminder of hey, a little bit of a too little, too late type of thing. And so I think the aggression on 3rd and 4th down were the right calls out of Ben Johnson to be in that mindset. They just didn't get it done in really any of them to swing the momentum of the football game.
So, look, obviously Caleb had his ups and downs over the course of that game, culminating with a throw that was an unbelievable up, and that has to be acknowledged. But I think what surprised me the most, not just in this game, but in the previous game, was the Bears' inability to run the ball in the postseason the way they did during the regular season. 2 of their worst games of the year in success rate on running back runs happened in the wild card round and the divisional round. And while I do think the Rams' run defense deserves a ton of credit, I thought the backers were fantastic in this one in particular, as well as the DBs. If you had told me during the regular season, Dan, that the Bears would get to 1st and 5 at the goal line and not punch it in, I would not have believed you, quite frankly. And so, I think just thinking as to why they didn't get to the NFC Championship, that's something that I would point to. This team did not live up to their regular season reputation on the ground in the playoffs when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I think that's why we saw Ben get down there and go run, pass. I know a lot of people were critical of that, but if you're Ben Johnson, why would you not have? I would say this, something to pay attention to, because we were just talking about this with Seattle and Cooper Kupp and his willingness to be on the perimeter and blocking. You've seen it impact JSN and Shaheed. I do think that Chicago is in need of that wide receiver that just is that I'm going to do the dirty work in the run game, the Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Cooper Kupp.
Did they kind of think Rome Odunze was going to do more of that? Or?
I do, but Rome is a guy that kind of slips off the block on that 3rd and goal and allows Swift to jump and get hit by the defensive back. So I just think for the evolution of this offense, you need that outside perimeter player to be that nasty Jawan Jennings type of blocker, because that takes the run game to the next level all the time.
To what you guys are saying, the 1.5 yards before contact per rush Sunday versus the Rams, their 3rd lowest of the season. Certainly a departure from what we had seen. All right, new on NFL Live, interesting. The Packers have released